like it's so raw, right? Like you've peeled off all these layers and
Yeah.
you're putting it's such a delicate little
It's so,
thing.
thank you. Exactly. There's not even a metaphor for that. The sort of so exposed, and part of, obviously part of the Kundalini awakening and Shakti energy and so on is that opening. All of the energy centers have to open to let her rise and clear. There is, in order for that opening to happen, there is so much that has to emerge, and it really emerged. And and yeah, because of that awareness of the heart and how just brilliantly pure the heart is, and how much the heart just wants to love.
Hi, I'm Robin.
And I'm Reya. Robin and I have been spending a whole year calling in the goddess. We've been inviting qualities of the feminine every month that we wish to expand in ourselves.
We'd love for you to join us on this journey and enjoy the magic with us. Would you like to kick off with a grounding meditation, maybe?
I don't think I'm the best person to deliver that,
I mean,
though.
I am happy to deliver it.
I will gratefully receive it.
Yes. And I'll also admit that this is totally guided by ChatGPT, but I did come prepared with it.
Well, no. This isn't ChatGPT. This is
Oh,
me. This is me manifesting exactly what I need right now.
exactly. However it comes to fruition is irrelevant as long as if it's delivered to you. Let's gently close our eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose, exhaling gently through your mouth. Again, inhale, feeling the breath move all the way down to your belly. And exhale, releasing anything that doesn't serve this moment. Feel your feet anchored to the earth beneath you. Feel her steady presence rising up to meet you, holding you, grounding you. You are safe. You are supported. You are here. With your next breath, gently turn your awareness inward. Call into your heart the sacred presence of the goddess. She is ancient and ever new. She who dwells in your breath, your body, your intuition. Invite her into the space as the great mother, as the keeper of wisdom, as the embodiment of grace. May she guide our words, infuse our thoughts with love, and open us to truth, beauty, and deep remembrance. As we begin this journey together, may we speak from our hearts, listen with reverence, and co-create a space of healing and inspiration. We honor the light within ourselves and the divine spark in one another. Take one final deep breath in, and as you exhale, feel yourself fully arriving, present, rooted, radiant. You can gently open your eyes and return back to this beautiful state.
Oh, it feels so nice now. Thank
Oh.
you for thank you for gracing us.
Indeed. I must admit, I came to the space rushing. So I really felt called to ensure that we took the time to have a grounding meditation at the start of it so that I could just feel a little bit more present. Can't ignore all the millions of things going on in my head, but at least for now, I can feel that I'm here with you in this space. And
Mm.
interesting, Love, it sounds like you've also got a lot of things going on.
Yes.
You want to tell us a bit about it? I think it's a full moon thing, though, by the way, because I've also been having a very intense couple of days emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah. You might be right. And a Scorpio full moon at that, which, yeah, feels actually quite accurate. I
It's
mean,
about bringing things out of the shadows.
mm, mm. And I feel like I've even seen the scorpion coming up in different places, actually, now that I think about it. Um, and it's such a visceral feeling that that creature has, isn't it? Oh, um, uh, definitely. I'm just allowing that feeling to be in me, whatever I associate with the scorpion, which of course is very unfair to the scorpion. I'm sure. I'm sure they find each other beautiful and peaceful creatures.
No, that is definitely not my experience of scorpions. And
No.
also, I am a Leo and seem to be very just going directly with star signs. I'm so attracted to Scorpios, but it's always the most, I don't know, toxic, non functional dynamic between Leos and Scorpios. We are not good for each other. So I'm not a big fan of Scorpios, just FYI.
Oh, I
Or
was thinking of the
Scorpions.
actual creature.
I know. I associate I associate the creature with the star sign with all of it.
Yeah. I think I might have a Scorpio rising. Like somewhere. I know it's somewhere in my chart. Um,
I have it in my chart as well, actually. I do have it. It's I mean it's not my sun, but
so
it's
then it
definitely
is. So
somewhere.
then it is our shadow, and probably the reason you find it so difficult with Scorpios is that they're bringing lots of tasty things up for you.
That is very true. That is
Yes.
actually very true. And
Yeah.
it's a really strong love-hate relationship. I'm so attracted to it. It's this
Mm.
magnet. um and but then after a while it just starts showing up parts that yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. My experience of Scorpios have been they're quiet, and this is a terrible generalization. This is just based on dating two different Scorpios and similarities in the way that they showed up, and that they were quite not ready to commit and quite selfish about their own sort of what's important for them
Mhm.
and in their lives right now, and like nothing else really mattered. Very strong people, very ambitious, very much driven to change the world, but
Sorry, but why do I feel like you're describing yourself?
because I'm not that selfish. Actually, that's not true. I can be. Nah, maybe that's
uh,
it. Maybe we're so much alike.
Want to change the world, commitment issues, which we went over in the previous episode.
I'm healing my commitment issues, okay?
Yeah, yeah, it's great, but they were just showing that to you.
Percent,
Mm.
yeah, definitely. Oh wow, okay. Maybe they are very much like.
Well, it does feel kind of relentless sometimes to always have it turn back on us. And I think that's how I'm feeling, actually, is that I'm feeling the exhaustion of the relentlessness of the mirror.
What are you seeing in the mirror lately that you're not keen to deal with?
Goodness, mm, it's the yeah. See, I can't even. Normally, I'm so good at speaking.
Yay.
And today's not one of those, today's not that day. It's, even in, so I'll go back to the ceremony that I did on Sunday with wonderful Maya and Monica, who run incredible Kundalini ceremonies, and much more than that. And I was very, I mean, I'd done one of theirs before, and then was delighted to see they were running a 4 hour, very deep workshop on Shakti, and with a lot of different modalities, and also teaching kind of self-activation, which I'm very interested in learning, so I can go there on my own. And just generally, of course, because it was goddess themed, everything to do with the goddess is arriving, and I thought, yes, it felt right to do it. I was not prepared for just how intense it would be, and how very deep it would go into probably what is my core. I really don't like using the word wound anymore. There needs to be a better way of conceptualizing it. I'm also learning a lot about Kabbalah at the moment, as I might have mentioned previously. And in Kabbalah, there's this concept of tikkun, which is the soul correction, the main thing that you're here to work through, so that your soul can essentially rise and embody more of the light. And I think that's very similar, right? It's in that domain. I don't know if that's the best definition either, but between kind of wound and correction, and yeah, maybe the word will come to us as we talk about it. But I went there, and I just found myself lying in surrender with these two women facilitating, and just weeping intensely
Yeah.
with with the kind of deep, deep, deep agony. It's not just sadness, it's sorrow, and it's not just my sorrow either. It feels so ancestral, so the suffering of all the women in this line, and at the same time such a deep yearning. And I cried and cried and cried, and it was the feeling of being a child as well. It was so many things mixed together. And towards the end, what was really coming through was this yearning to be met, this feeling of my heart is so, so pure and so delicate. As though, to touch it, you'd have to be so gentle,
Yeah.
right?
Of course.
Because,
Yeah.
the heart is also incredibly
So
strong,
sensitive.
of course, but it's like,
Oh, well, especially after you've had such a a deep emotional experience, it's like it's so raw, right? Like you've peeled off all these layers and
yeah,
you're putting it's such a delicate little
it's so,
thing.
thank you. Exactly, exactly. There's not even a metaphor for that. The sort of so exposed, and obviously part of the Kundalini awakening and Shakti energy and so on is that opening. All of the energy centers have to open to let her rise and clear. In order for that opening to happen, there is so much that has to emerge, and it really emerged. And and yeah, because of that awareness of the heart, and how just brilliantly pure the heart is, and how much the heart just wants to love. Mm. Yeah, there was just this question of who, how can this be met? And this sense started saying the same words over and over. Where are you? Where is, who can hold this? I don't even want to say a person, right? I think it's too easy to default to saying, oh, it's the soulmate. They're out there somewhere. I also had that feeling of it's possible there, this exists. But I don't think it is an individual. I think it's the yearning for home, for the profound sense of home where there is just love. And the yearning for the place where that is real and present. um, and the sense of that gap, how do we bridge that gap?
Because we're here
Because we're here,
on this earth in this human form.
right? And I guess that's the answer, and in a way that answer comes back to afterwards everybody shared about their experience. And we actually, when we emerged, we just started painting. You would have loved this. As a form of integration, nobody spoke. We just went straight into painting. And it actually worked so well because with it being such an intense experience, you don't really want to put words on it and you don't want to come back right away. And so, yeah, the painting was so beautiful. And I will get my painting and show it because um, it would be nice to go into the meaning. I think it's very connected to, well, it's very connected to the goddess and possibly to our theme as well. But as we were sharing, and I said what I'd felt and about wanting to be met, and Maya, bless her, said, sounds like you still need to meet yourself. And I went, this is so difficult. And that's why I said in the beginning, that the mirror,
Yes.
I'm experiencing the ruthlessness of the mirror, of the way that everything is returning us to that, and how, and even this incredibly difficult conversation I'm having with my man right now, which I didn't know if I was going to come and record because it was so intense. um and the last thing he said was that he remained calm through some of my accusations very early on, like really silly things that I would say, because when I didn't know him, and I'm not, my ego self is very suspicious naturally and very worrisome and very like worst case scenario. And so, I definitely grilled him in some ways, and he's literally said, um I always remain calm because I know myself. And that really cut deep as well, just
Yeah,
as
of
I was
course.
coming to talk to you.
Oh.
Um, because I thought, you know what? I don't stay calm. I'm still very reactive when people, especially people I care about, when I feel that they have the wrong impression of me, when I feel that they don't see that I'm so good and well-meaning, and it really upsets me. And it definitely was also a very mother relationship thing too, because I really, really wanted her to see me and accept me and not judge me, as we all do. But yeah, it stirs up that same agonizing feeling of, and then he said that, and it really just,
Yeah, exactly.
it
Stab straight into that tender
totally
heart.
straight in the heart, because I thought, you know what? As hard as it is to like acknowledge, but he's right, that when you know yourself, or let's say love yourself, then it doesn't matter what people think.
Yeah. 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 That
Yeah.
is when you were talking about how, that experience that you had at that workshop with Maya, and you were speaking about how your heart felt. I mean, it took me back to November last year, just before I went to Brazil, because I similarly had, I mean, mine was through family constellation and some transpersonal therapy, but
Hmm.
also got to a core wound and that weeping and that like that rawness. That's why I could just so like I could explain it because I remember that. It's
Hmm.
just and you just so afraid to go anywhere because you're just like this like
Yes.
fragile little
Yes.
bird. Like
Yes. Ready to just burst into anime tears at any moment. They're just like ping.
yes, exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Um and then being supported, remembering of like yeah, longing for returning home, for lack of a better way of explaining it, my soul returning home to a place that's filled with love, but then being grounded in the reality that I'm in here on this planet now in this human form, and that I chose to be here
So
at this
you felt
time.
that.
I
Amazing.
did. But I then realized that the answer for me, which sounds a bit like, and I might be paraphrasing what you're explaining, is that the answer about who can love you that way and where you get that support is yourself.
Hmm.
And that's where, at least in the form of being a human on planet Earth, that's where you will find that like infinite love and being held. It's never going to be from a romantic partner, from your mom, your dad, whatever, friends. At the end of the day, that unconditional love that you need to connect with has to be here within
Hmm.
yourself. And my realization was I had to could reconnect with my inner child. My inner child didn't trust me because I
Mm.
spent my entire life telling her to keep quiet, do this, like conform, blah, blah, blah. So I had like this clear image in my head of this like stubborn little child. She didn't trust me. You do these meditations and you're trying to connect and you're saying, I love you, you're safe, all of this. And she's like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. I have heard this before. This is what you say right now, but wait until you get triggered by someone and then you're just going to tell me to shut up because that's what you do.
Oh gosh. Oh, that's really
Yeah.
sweet. And actually, when you just said that back like that, I almost saw the inner child. Even the way your top is, it's almost like one of those little pinafore dresses. So sweet. And
Yeah.
interestingly, when I was telling Maya about how I was feeling afterwards, by text message, she sent me a little voice note with a bit of guidance around investigating that feeling. And she did, exactly as you say, she said, visualize which inner child it is. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, feel into the body and where those feelings are and start to give them form and then see if she appears and just talk to her and reassure her. Yeah. And actually, I thought, yeah, I always slightly struggle with that kind of exercise because I find it hard to, I'm still judging myself as I'm doing it. This isn't the right one. You go away. It can't be. They can't be this one. It's too obvious. Or why can't I think of one? Or why isn't it happening? And the thing that did come up was a memory because I can't even remember most of my childhood, but I happened to, my parents did some recordings on audio cassette, and I happened to listen to just a fragment of one of them a few years ago, and it really stuck with me.
Oh.
And I was shocked. And I hadn't thought about that for a while, and then when Maya suggested this, that came up, and I thought, hmm. Maybe there's a reason why I heard that. In fact, not maybe, but definitely there's a reason why. That was the little snippet that I happened to hear so that I could actually go and help her. And I hadn't done that.
Yeah.
So I think she's definitely the one who's acting up with that yearning of not just to be loved and accepted, but actually for to be respected in her choices, right? To not risk being abandoned or being bad for not wanting something,
Oh, there
which
are so many overlays
so
in
many.
our story. So many. I mean, that's been a theme that I've been investigating around, actually triggered by work and a figure of
Mm.
authority asking me for something, and then realizing that the core of where that came is actually a mother wound of wanting acceptance, being afraid of being like abandoned or not belonging. So the fear of, oh, I will lose my job if I don't respond very quickly to this comes back to me trying to, oh, I'm going to lose
Oh,
my family if they don't fully accept me. So I have to act in a
yes.
certain way so that
Oh
I'm
my
accepted
gosh.
into this family. And that is
Wow.
another, that's also generational. I realize actually that's linked to more generational trauma,
Mm-hmm.
because what I came down to the realization that it's such a deep-seated fear of not belonging, but I've never had any reason that my parents have said to me they would like disown me. But there are people in my family in past generations that have experienced that.
Wow. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you got super excited as I was saying some of that. Now I
I
want to
got
know
very
what's
excited
going
to go.
on in your mind.
Thank you for noticing.
Tell me, tell
I
me.
know. I was in and out of this beautiful dappled sunlight that's coming through. Yes, because you reminded me in saying that that what I'd actually asked my Maya, well, or what I'd been telling her to lead into this recommendation was that I was having this feeling of like guilt around feeling so tired. I was feeling really like, because after the activation, all day yesterday, all day today, I've just been wiped. I just like can't focus on anything. Don't want to.
Our inner childs are totally on this little rampage at the moment.
They're like, I'm here. It's my time to be seen. um, like literally, I try to look at some work I want to do, and my brain just goes, no, 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 not now. I want to go lie down. and um, and and it's so easy for me to fall asleep. I do in the way, also in the way that a child would, just so naturally and easily, and such a beautiful deep sleep. Oh, this is cozy and nice. Um, and so I'm telling her, I feel when I do this, I feel scared. I feel like I'll never accomplish anything. That I'm definitely not doing enough. Like if I try to lie there and relax, I feel like, oh my God, suddenly I see every way in which I am not doing enough.
Yeah.
And not just in that moment, but in general, it's like I've wasted my whole life.
Yeah. Exactly. You extrapolated.
and and
I do the same thing.
okay, well, thanks.
And I've also been sleeping a lot. Like, do you want to know what I did the whole of Sunday and the
Wait,
whole of
wait,
yesterday when I
wait.
got back from work? This blanket. This is me. Like this. Like,
Oh, that's so sweet. I think we should be doing this episode like in just in a cozy place. Um, maybe we will. When we finally record together, we can be like lying down. um, so, but to get to the punchline of this, uh, ultimately, what I said to her was, I'm feeling so guilty about this. I feel lazy when I try to rest, and I need to go, go, go. I literally wrote those words like, just go, go, go. And that's what I got excited about when you were talking, because you were saying how it's that feeling. It's that feeling of needing acting productive, I don't know, proving your worth in some way.
yeah. Do you know where that comes from for you?
Hmm. Well, I don't know if there's a concise answer to that. I think it also must be tied up so much with so many layers of family history, because there was definitely, I mean, I guess, thinking about other meanings of go, 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 like having Jewish background on my mother's side, people who always had to be ready to go. In fact, ooh, just got chills on that. But I was having a conversation this week with someone who said he'd been watching Fiddler on the Roof over and over and over with his mother. So interesting. Seemingly has nothing to do with anything, right? But is actually directly related. me and this exploration. Fiddler on the Roof with the mother. And he referred specifically to a song in there where there's a lyric, you always sleep with your hat on. I mean, it's not what it is, but it's this sense of you have to be ready to go.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking there's probably a bit of that. And because I also know that yeah. So anyway, there's that. And there's more immediately, I suppose. Well, I suppose as a result of that, why are Jews so high achieving stereotypically? Again, to create security, to overcompensate for the lack of security, and to really, to know that, well, everything's at stake here. Survival is at stake based on how good I am at doing what I do. And so there was a huge emphasis on education and conventional kind of success and performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely an element of society has also created that in our more immediate,
Mm,
yeah, lifetime now, this generation, we're very much driven by productivity, efficiency, all of that. And it's like your measure of success is based on you acting like a machine.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
And when you're not
Which we're
functioning,
not,
we're not
and
a machine.
no, no. Ugh. And
No, we're
and
not.
definitely the phrase go, go, go contains that too, that roboticism, that mechanical just, yeah, still going like the Energizer Bunny.
I've had to catch myself with that a lot. Like, especially the last 2 weeks, like in this job. Like whenever I find myself I catch myself when I use the words, oh, I'm not being efficient or I'm not being productive. Every time I say that, I correct myself. I'm not a machine. I am
Mm,
not a machine. Like I'm trying to like override this like this messaging in my
yeah.
head that is basically telling me to just push at all full cylinders,
Mm,
and not worry about rest, recovery, or any of that. Um, yeah,
yeah.
but then what happens? I sleep for 12, 13 hours a day. I don't know if it's a full moon thing or something, but I don't know if we're just in some weird sync right now,
Yeah.
but I have been so tired.
Mm,
And sleep makes me so happy. As you said, it's this childlike
yes.
joy of
Yeah.
sleeping.
We need to write a book called The Joy of Sleep. Except there's nothing in that book except, and then
And
he
then
slept.
once upon a time,
Yeah.
the
Sleeping
end.
Beauty.
Yeah. So yeah,
Well,
the productivity thing and go 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 thing, definitely something that
well,
I also.
and I would say to tie it in for the first time in 40 minutes of this conversation to our theme, you are offering yourself grace. Well, we call a grace period, right? When you give yourself rest. But actually, I don't even know if I like that term. I like the idea of grace, but the idea of a grace period, now that I think about it, it's almost like,
You can have a gap
you
for a
can
little
have,
bit of time, but then you
right?
need to get back.
Right, right, exactly. We'll grant you this.
Yeah.
You can see the taskmaster at the, um, uh, whatever, sweat, why can't I speak?
Just use another language,
Going,
maybe
going
another
back,
language.
going back to the Victorian, yeah, huh. To, I don't care about language. I don't need language. It's too, I'm not a machine. I can just look at you and accept. No, going back to the Victorian era and the, quite inhumane factories and so on. And that was just the image that came to me of here's your little grace period.
Yeah.
um, and then back to work. So I think the desire, if I'm very honest with myself, the desire is to not have that at all. I don't want to work that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that would be even better. Well, I mean, in an ideal world, the work we do brings us so much joy and flow that it doesn't feel like it's work. And yeah, that would be, I guess, that's the sort of ideal sort of setup that whatever you're working on is just an extension of your flow state. manifesting in a different way, or your passion or something like that.
Yeah.
But there's something around the topic of grace, because that I have been thinking about it in the context of go, go, go and
Yeah.
productivity. And a week ago, I was super, well, 2 weeks ago, I was very overwhelmed and everything was so much. And I was just like, I'm not working enough. I'm not this, I'm not that. I was beating myself up. And then last week, it was actually spending time in nature. For me, divine grace, how it's really been showing up and how I've been really noticing it. And I've been using this as a way of anchoring myself when it
Mm,
comes to work, is that things in nature move slowly. Things happen slowly. Plants grow slowly. Like,
mm,
and I think it's also the season where, the sun, it's getting warmer. The plants, my roses are starting to bloom, but not quickly. It's taking time. Every time I go outside, they're a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. And I know that eventually they're going to come out as this beautiful flower. And noticing how slowly it's taking for the flowers to
mm,
be ready to bloom is reminding me to slow down and allow and be patient with myself and allow myself to not go at full speed and expect results and adding value and all those beautiful things that you're supposed to do when you start a new job. But are you supposed to do it in the first week or 2 weeks? But then it's all germinating, right? You're fertilizing this plant. It's growing, it's making connections. I'm seeing myself as a flower, clearly.
I was seeing you as a flower. I was actually sitting here, partly listening, daydreaming a little bit, and even though you were not saying flower, I very distinctly was seeing just, yeah, exactly that, of not even, you were talking about plants, but the flower unfolding.
Yeah, exactly. It takes time and you need to
Yeah,
be patient with it.
that's right. If you go into the bud and rip it open, there's not going to be a flower.
No, no, you won't. Yeah, exactly. You won't get
Yeah.
that flower. And so it needs time and patience
Mhm.
and rest and all these things. So every time I find myself being go, 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 I'm as return results, I'm just like, look at the flowers. They're still closed. My roses are still not opened, which means
Yeah.
I'm not expected to open.
Uh, Actually, this might be a slightly inappropriate segue, but
Oh, now I'm too curious.
well, as soon as you said, well, I'm not expected to open, I thought about something else that has been, yeah, simmering away in my mind the last week or so, which is about my value, or a woman's value anyway. And it's quite easy for us to feel sort of infuriated and demeaned by certain behaviors that men have, and not saying that that's not justified. But I was also looking back at my life and thinking, how easily did I give away my value?
Mm.
And I don't mean necessarily in sex, although I also now think I demand have access to this. This is the holy of holies. It needs to be treated as such. Um, because I think actually it does a disservice to both sides to not do it that way. The man and the woman. The man wants to earn it. I think he actually feels better if he does, and the woman feels honored. And so it's kind of win-win, I think. Again, not to say that you can't just do things for pleasure, but when there's meaning and significance, and when that's the intention, then, I
So
feel,
much more powerful and more,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, but when I say giving my value away, I mean giving and giving and giving and not realizing that I am the gift. So what am I doing running around giving instead of just sitting back? I mean, is the goddess chasing after you going, "Oh, take this."
Yeah, yeah. No, she
Oh,
doesn't. She's
no.
just sitting there receiving because she is
Yes, exactly. And
grace. And
grace, that's a kind of grace.
for sure, that's how I've been. Yeah, that's one of the ways that, yeah, receiving, being more in that,
Mm,
yeah, that era of receiving. And I don't know, royalty also kind of feels like it comes up of just like this inner knowing and surety and
Hmm.
just acceptance that there is light in just even being in in the divine feminine
Yes.
energy.
Yes.
And that light is so healing in
Mm.
itself that it doesn't need that pushing, that running after or what. Yeah. It's,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I remember a few times last week, I went into the office with that energy of just being, you guys are welcome for my.
Oh,
No, because
brilliant.
and it's such a different that you don't need to push. Not if you're, as you said, do you value yourself and you don't you don't just give it away to everyone. Not in the way that you're like, so I don't know how to the way you were expressing it, running
Yeah.
after people. It's
Yeah.
more like it's available for
Right.
people.
Absolutely. Exactly. Exactly.
It radiates
Yes.
itself outward from you
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You're still, um, you're
without
still giving.
depleting you. I think that's the other
Right.
thing.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, because the running depletes you. Yes. And the running, that sort of giving is fundamentally about trying to prove your worth. It comes back to the theme at the very beginning of, you know, am I loving myself if I'm constantly trying to prove that I'm worth something to someone?
Yeah. No,
So, no.
unlikely.
No.
And another word to actually use for this like light that I was thinking, honestly, it's actually just love. If I think back to it, the words that or what I was feeling into is like meta,
Yes. Yes.
like, yeah, sort of expanded openness of my heart towards everyone around me and
Yes.
absolute
Yes. That
openness
is,
and acceptance.
yes, that is the greatest gift. Oh my gosh, it is incredible. And actually, I felt that, I mean, I wanted to acknowledge that from you today, when we arrived to record and you were saying, it's okay, we don't have to do it now. And I knew that you'd rushed back specifically because I'd said, can we do this time? And you were still coming from love and being generous with that and not being resentful that I'd not been at the time that I said I would. And just feeling that, seeing your smile, feeling that love meant so much to me, more than anything else you could do. You could literally shower me with what, like, I don't know, champagne, and it would not have the same impact as what you did. And so I'm so glad you said that and expressed that because that's really the core of it. That's really everything is. And I feel that so strongly too. I feel like I realized my mission was love, and I wonder to what extent it's the mission of the feminine, actually.
I don't know if
I don't
it's
know. I don't know.
if it's, I think it's masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. And this is a bit of a hard one because I experienced this weekend. Ended up at a few events in Hampstead Heath and
Mm-hmm.
Hyde Park with like farming community, the medicine community had a few indigenous get-togethers as well, and there were men there as well. And now I know masculine, feminine exist in both, obviously, but they were operating from such a place of love,
Mm.
majority of them. There was one creepy old man. Anyways.
We will
And
not judge him.
yeah, he was yeah. Let me stop there.
Yeah.
Share too much on this. Yeah, I had a hard time with that one actually because I have been so heart open on so accepting, but and it's so weird. I got into an Uber that same a few hours before that, and the Uber driver said to me, which gives me chills now thinking about it. You have a really big heart and you're very open. this guy just starts having this conversation with me, and he's like, be careful with that because people will take advantage of it.
Mm.
He warned me, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, why are you so like negative about the world? And he's like, I used to be positive like you.
Oh dear.
But he sort of like gave me this like friendly warning.
Mm.
And then a few hours later, I was at this event, open heart, everything. And this person that should be theoretically a very safe space to be in
Yes.
actually saw my open, started encroaching on my space and actually made me eventually feel quite uncomfortable. And I was so, because it's a spiritual leader to some extent, you're supposed to be trusting of this person. Don't be judgmental, don't be this. But if I listen, like, eventually I was like, no, this person actually is not a safe space and it's okay for me to step away from this. But it was interesting how I got that
Mm.
warning just before, and then actually somebody did take advantage of this open heart energy that I had. Yeah. But so I went off on a complete
Yeah.
tangent. The masculine, I experienced men who they were operating from like absolute love,
Mm.
and like their mission in life is love. And is it a feminine quality embodied within male species, or is it both a masculine and feminine sort of quality or mission? Mission's probably the right word. I think it's everyone's.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's at the heart of everything.
Yes. I completely agree. I completely agree.
So yeah,
Um, yeah.
I couldn't imagine like a different mission for like the masculine.
Hmm. Well, maybe
And
to,
that's my perspective. I'm
yeah.
curious to hear what you think, if you have a different idea around this.
I guess I was trying to think back to there was a context also recently in which this sort of question came up. It was around this idea that actually the love comes through the feminine. And maybe it's connected to the fact that we're more of a channel and, connected to creation and so on. But maybe in a way, not to say that the masculine doesn't have love. Everyone has love, as you say. It's just the substance of things. When it comes to that radiance, that amplification, or somehow the feminine does exude that, she radiates in a way the masculine doesn't.
Yeah.
Maybe because the masculine is so directional.
Also, we're connected to sort of direct link and connection
Right.
to source through our womb and everything as well. Like,
Right. And so is the role of the masculine then to essentially hold the feminine so she can radiate?
mhm.
Like the love of the masculine for the feminine then kind of creates this feedback loop of love from the feminine. I don't know. Jury's out for me still on this. And in fact, I realized also through a conversation I had last night that I still feel woefully inadequate to the task of talking about masculine and feminine. I mean, this is so much of a learning journey
Yeah.
for me, and I wouldn't dare to, yeah, to come down categorically on one interpretation or another. And I really felt that actually it's something I need to intentionally study more and pay attention to. Because as much as we're in the goddess and we're in the qualities of the goddess, I think it's also very important to be talking about the masculine feminine dynamic.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, I agree. And we did in the last episode started talking because
Yeah, it
talking
comes
about
up.
how we lean into it. But there is something really beautiful that I like about this image of
Hmm.
this flow of love where them projecting love towards the feminine who then portrays it out to the rest of the world. I don't know, I've got this really cool image in my head. It should maybe
Oh,
turn into a painting or drawing or
yes,
something. But
yes.
that sort of circular, it just fits so well. Again, I haven't thought about this very very much, but just
Mm,
as you were speaking, I was just like, that like cycle, that like energy is forever moving and cycling, and
yes.
like it's not lost, it's just repurposed in another way. It just creates a very, and whether it's the way it's maybe being channeled through, yeah, in different ways through the masculine and the feminine, it could be a great drawing, and it's a great image in my head.
Yes, wonderful. I love that. We just inspired each other.
I know it's a great concept as well. It's an interesting concept. And I think, yeah, I think I'm also I also, through this whole exercise, I want to learn more about, it was really about the feminine for me because I don't know so much about the masculine, but how the two coexist and celebrating both of them as well, also through this journey, because it's not like we only want to have the one half. We've maybe gone too far in one direction as a population in the world, but I think acknowledging and understanding it as well is also super important, where you
Yeah,
can lean into the different parts and also
of
how they
course.
coexist, right? I think that's
Yes.
beautiful. The coexisting and how, because that will blend so nicely as well. And as you deal with different people, different personalities, if they're like more heavily weighted on one or the other or whatever. Ooh,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh
We
yeah.
need to, we both need to do a bit more studying.
Right now. Where are my glasses?
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm
You owe me a photo, a painting to show us and
Yes.
explain as the end of the episode.
All right, I'm gonna go get it. We can cut this intermediate bit. Get ready. Mm.
Ooh,
Oh
oh
yes.
wow. That is so pretty and sparkly.
Yes, I love that it's sparkly. And
Yes.
it's not at all, it doesn't remind me of anything aside from
A vagina.
aside from the cosmos. It's just a galaxy. Um, but basically, as I said, we just got up and painted, and this just came out. It was I didn't
Yeah.
think, I decided, and then just kind of was doing these very soothing like
It's
movements.
such a calming color.
Yeah, really calming. I felt odd, so interestingly after that intense, like it was like a storm had gone through me of this sorrow. But this was so peaceful and very intentionally gentle, like so tender. Every movement of the brush, I just enjoyed watching the color spreading, and I felt that I was actually reclaiming on behalf of that ancestry a gentleness, a tenderness. And when I decided to do, I noticed this was just an afterthought because I saw there was some gold paint. And with each star, I just felt like I was adorning her, the goddess, every woman, just like with pure love and adoration and beauty. So it's very meaningful.
Yeah, no, for sure. I feel like each one of them are also like just witnessed and seen. Like,
Yes. Yes,
yeah.
exactly. And not to mention star seeds, of course.
Secret little inner circle.
Ah.
Beautiful. Well, thanks so much